What's up, everybody? Let's talk a little bit, okay? I want to chat. I want to chat with you guys about a forbidden topic in the manga, anime, Twitter sphere, and that's sales. Let's talk about sales. Don't you guys want to talk about numbers? Who doesn't love math? Let's talk about sales. So sales matter. I agree that with a lot of people that like they're not a good. You can't objectively measure the quality of something by how well that it sells. I totally agree. But sales do matter, okay? They're important. And I don't know that we've ever seen anything like this before. Like, the modern face of manga sales is insane. I mean, hang on. All right. I got some graphics I'm going to show you guys. I will put the sources for all these down below because these are from some awesome Twitter accounts that you guys should absolutely follow if you like keeping up with this kind of stuff. Look at this. Okay, so Kimetsu no Yaiba, that's Demon Slayer, for those of you that don't know. I'm assuming if you watch me, you know that Kimetsu no Yaiba is Demon Slayer, but just in case, you know. We've got 607,000 so far. This is the most recent Oricon, so I think it's like the first 7 days of March or whatever is what this number is. And this is at 607,000. Mind you, there's no anime airing for it right now other than Mugen Train, which just came out and like saved Japan from COVID-19, basically. Crazy, right? Absolutely insane. The amount of money and numbers that Kimetsu no Yaiba has put up. And then we got Jujutsu Kaisen, whose anime is running right now with 2.6 million sold, right? Okay. This is not me saying that it's better than Demon Slayer, by the way. Again, this has nothing to do with quality. I just want to talk about the insane, like, I don't know if this is like a new wave of manga. I don't think acceptance is the right word because these are Japanese sales figures. But like, I don't know. Like, I don't even know what to call it. I've never seen something blow up like this. I mean, we're looking at this year. There is a chance that One Piece will not land in the top 3 this year because of Jujutsu Kaisen and Kimetsu no Yaiba's ridiculous sales. And then you see Chainsaw Man at number 3 doesn't even have an anime yet. And we got 488,000 volumes. So these are individual volumes. And, you know, if you add the Jujutsu Kaisen fan book and Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 0, generally these spin-off extra things are not included as like actual volumes. It's only main series volumes. That's why fan book and Volume 0 are separate. Jujutsu Kaisen is over 3 million units moved between these 3 things, right? That's crazy. In just March. Like, okay, let's take a look. Let's take a look at... Boop, boop. Okay. These are the actual books for Oricon that have sold, like individual volumes, not just the total. So you see Jujutsu Kaisen, including the fan book and Volume 0, is on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 of the top 20 is Jujutsu Kaisen. That's insane. And I admit I have not kept up with this throughout all of my life, right? Like, manga sales was not high on my mind when I was watching Dragon Ball back in Toonami, right? Okay? Or, like, when I was 14 reading Naruto or whatever. But, you know, with Kimetsu no Yaiba kind of cutting out One Piece's, like, utter sales dominance, because One Piece always killed it. Always killed it. And then Kimetsu kind of came in, Demon Slayer, whatever. I'm going to alternate between the two because I call it both things. It came out and it kind of cut One Piece out of that guaranteed lead spot that it pretty much always had, right? And now we're looking at Jujutsu Kaisen coming in and competing as well. I think it really just kind of finally feels like a new wave of shonen has started, and these numbers are insane. I mean, you can look at things like My Hero. Like, a lot of people will point at My Hero Academia and the fact that it dominates the Western market as a point that it's competing with like Jujutsu Kaisen or Demon Slayer. It's not. I'm sorry, I don't know how to break that to you. Dominating the Western market is not enough. Manga is a Japanese market completely through and through. So, I mean, you look at My Hero Academia has been dominating the Western market since like 2014, 16, whenever it came out. I think 2014. Okay, Jujutsu Kaisen has been out technically since 2018, technically, and it's already surpassed My Hero Academia's lifetime sales volume. Okay, so that shows you the difference between dominating the West and dominating the Japanese market. When you dominate the Japanese market, you blow past people who have been dominating the West for almost 10 years in a couple years, right? Japanese market is everything. So yes, it is impressive that My Hero Academia is so popular in the West, which I think makes sense, but you really can't compare it to... It's sort of like the Dragon Ball One Piece argument, right? Like on a smaller scale. Because you see people say that, oh, Dragon Ball is actually the most popular anime of all time because it's more popular worldwide. And then you have One Piece fans saying, no, One Piece is the most popular manga worldwide, because it moved the most units. And it's hard to argue against either thing, I guess, because I would say it's true, at least in the United States, that Dragon Ball is significantly more popular than One Piece. But One Piece, over its total life, has sold like double what Dragon Ball has. So how do you really argue that? Right? How do you argue what's more popular? And it's hard to argue against the numbers. The Japanese market is just that strong. So before we keep going, I want to just kind of preface this bit with I am not putting these two against one another in any form of competition, nor am I saying that I think one is better. Okay, personally, I do think one is better than the other because obviously I'm like a hyper Jujutsu Kaisen fan. It's like my favorite thing ever. But I'm not knocking Kimetsu no Yaiba in any way. I think Demon Slayer is great. It's awesome. Really cool. I see a lot of people... I'm going to take a tangent. I'm going to take a side tangent. I see a lot of people downplay sales numbers, and they want to say things like, oh, it's only selling this good because it got a good anime, which is a stupid thing to say because the whole purpose of an anime is advertising the franchise, right? So, like, nobody goes insane over, like, pretty colors, right? Demon Slayer floated the Japanese economy. That doesn't happen over pretty colors. Also, if that's the argument you're making... If the anime is so good that it's propelling Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer to these insane heights, then you're kind of just arguing that it's the two best anime ever made. Because if your argument is that all of these numbers are due to the anime, and the anime's quality is why people are buying it, aren't you just saying that they're the two best anime of all time? Which I know you don't think that. You don't actually think that. Because you're trying to use that to shit on them. So it's really just a dumb thing to say. It's a stupid argument. You shouldn't say it. You're kind of stepping in doo-doo if you say that, right? Like... You're making a big point, but then you stepped in dog duty right afterward because you just ruined your own point. Anyway, let's look at the year so far. So this is the Oricon year so far, like concurrent year, between Kimetsu no Yaiba, Demon Slayer. You know what I mean. I'm going to keep feeling weird when I say Kimetsu no Yaiba, but it's on all these images, so I'm going to end up saying it. And Jujutsu Kaisen. And you can see, of course, where Jujutsu Kaisen explodes is like right around this point. I mean, it's really popular in the different, even in the earlier ones. You're looking at like 1 million up at the top there. But you can see where it really explodes. We're talking like 1.7, 1.6 million closer to the bottom. And, I'm sorry, what? Yeah, anyway. But I brain farted for a minute, and I was like, wait, is that really 1 million? Then I counted the number of digits, and I was like, yes, it is. Anyway... Down at the bottom in the blue, that's the total year so far between Kimetsu no Yaiba and Jujutsu Kaisen. We're looking at basically 23.5 million for Kimetsu no Yaiba and about 16.5 for Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, this does not include the spin-offs. So for Kimetsu no Yaiba, this does not include like the Gaiden Rengoku chapters. And with Jujutsu Kaisen, this does not include JJK 0 or the JJK fanbook. But I don't think that matters that much because either way, both of them are losing something. But just look at these figures. Jesus Christ, dude. Almost 24 million. It's March. It's March. Right? Like, this is just Oricon 2021. I'm recording this on March 12th. I think this image was taken on March 7th? Probably 7th. It's March. There are some very popular manga that sold 20 million in their entire lives. 20 million? Is 7 million less than My Hero Academia's lifetime gross. It's March! This is insane, right? Like, I don't even know what point I'm making anymore, other than just being blown away that, like, these manga are exploding like this. And, and it's exciting that they are because manga has been, at least from, like, a front, like, sales perspective, there's been almost no competition. It's been One Piece just ruling the world, right? And then you have, a couple other things here and there, like My Hero Academia would never like fight One Piece for the top, but it was like around. Haikyuu, was like around, but it never felt like they were really throwing down with One Piece. And now you have these two series that are absolutely throwing down with One Piece. I mean, your number 1 and 2 for the year are pretty much guaranteed to be these two. One Piece is fighting basically for third for the year, I believe, which is crazy. It's crazy. If I'm wrong about that, feel free to correct me in the comments. I definitely know that I read that because, like I said, that we're looking at the first year in ages where One Piece might not be a top 3. And it's entirely because of the explosion of these two series. And a lot of people like to point at the anime as like, the anime came out and it was cool, so everyone started rushing out and buying all the stuff. But like, the numbers don't necessarily support that, right? So this table is Jujutsu Kaisen and Kimetsu no Yaiba, their increase in manga sales over time, and then down at the bottom, you can see the anime episode that this happened on, and then time period where the boom took place, okay? So if you look at Kimetsu no Yaiba, its biggest boom took place after the anime concluded. So yes, you can argue that the anime is what got people's eyes on Kimetsu no Yaiba, right? But like, people aren't going out and just buying the books because like, I want to see this cool animated scene, right? When the anime ended, we looked at a massive boon from Demon Slayer. Huge. Now, this table does include JJK 0, and a lot of the other ones don't. So if you're seeing some weird discrepancies, like number-wise, that's why. We're looking at this one is a conglomerate, and the other ones were not. JJK 0 was not in the other ones. But imagine that we get the same bump for Jujutsu Kaisen post-anime, right? Because it makes, at least if you're asking me, it makes sense for the sales to balloon when the anime is over. Because when the anime ends, that is when people become like, well, what's going to happen now? Now I want to see the rest of it, right? And Jujutsu Kaisen, I would think, could potentially do that. Now, if you look at the increase curve along the graph here, the bottom for the Demon Slayer curve is a lot more solid, whereas Jujutsu Kaisen is already ballooning. And eventually, right, like a balloon pops eventually. Now, Kimetsu no Yaiba has the big advantage of like Mugen Train. And I've seen people say like, oh, they should make Star Plasma Vessel a movie. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense to do that. They might do that, but I don't say Mugen Train being a movie in and of itself was like a weird thing to me when I saw it happen. So it's not like that's an industry norm, right? Like, people aren't just going to start making movies because Kimetsu no Yaiba did it. But I think it would be cool, you know, if Star Plasma Vessel was a movie, because I think Star Plasma Vessel is really great. I love it. I would love to see it get that crazy treatment, especially like Toji versus Gojo in like when they can really sit down and make it wild in like a movie. Like, oh, that would be crazy. But anyway, my point here is you look at this boom from 1 month to 8 months after the conclusion of the Kimetsu anime, and that massive boom from under 20 mil to 60 million. Imagine that same thing happens to Jujutsu Kaisen, right? I mean, you're looking at a legitimate competition if that happens. Like, it could bomb like all the way up to where Kimetsu is. I'm not saying it will, but it could. And just the fact that we have these two series now throwing down the gauntlet with One Piece and saying like, okay, the old era is over now. It's time for some new manga to take over. It's time for One Piece to no longer rule the world. Now, obviously, One Piece is still the king of the castle. It's got, you know, it's 400 million, whatever, that like insane, right? But still, on a year-to-year basis, even then, One Piece has thoroughly dominated. And so looking at this, even as someone who's not a huge fan of Kimetsu no Yaiba, like, I like it. And I will watch the anime and stuff like that. And I've read the whole series. But it's not like I'm not crazy about it like I am with Jujutsu Kaisen. But seeing this just gets me excited. Like, I don't know, man. It feels like something really special and new. And I guess that was my point, ultimately, is that these numbers do matter, even if you don't like the series. Like, if you think, oh, Kimetsu no Yaiba sucks and it's floated by its anime and Jujutsu Kaisen blows and it's only popular because whatever fucking excuse. There's a million of them. Whatever excuse you choose, right? The point is that these are series that are leading the way into a new era. I guess that sounds very overdramatic. But, like, they're doing things that other series have not done, right? You cannot compare what My Hero Academia is to this, right? You can't compare Black Clover or Haikyuu to this. I guess you could compare like Attack on Titan Attack on Titan was pretty crazy sales-wise. I don't think it's this crazy, but it's pretty crazy sales-wise. But, you know, Attack on Titan's not Weekly Shonen Jump. I don't really talk about stuff that's not Weekly Shonen Jump, so I'm not going to pull up figures for Attack on Titan right now. But we're looking at series finally coming in and trying to challenge for the throne. And this year, it looks like they're going to win that fight. One Piece does not look like it's going to compete for the throne this year. And that's nuts to me. I know that a lot of you guys don't care about sales figures, and it's not that big of a deal. But, I mean, these are the kings of modern shonen. These are the absolute kings of where we're going from now on, like with shonen series. And are we going to see more series kind of take from them? I don't know. But I can tell you already that these series are going to inspire so many things in the future. And I'm so excited for it, you guys. Like, downplay them all you want. Shit talk them all you want. Say whatever you want about them. Okay? Because it's fine if you don't like them, and I don't really care if you don't like them. But you gotta respect what they've done. This is crazy. It's crazy! They've done crazy things. That's all I'm saying. Make sure to check the description down below, the video down in the little bottom. If I was more creative, I'd have like a little finger pointing down, but also you guys know where video descriptions are, so I probably don't need to do that. And it will have a link to the Twitter accounts that I got these infographics from, so you can go and check them out. They're awesome. They do more than just Jujutsu Kaisen and Kimetsu no Yaiba. They do like the entire magazine, so if you're ever curious as to how your series are selling, or if they're popular, for example, I know a lot of people are clamoring about Chainsaw Man's sales right now because it's doing great. It's selling crazy good with no anime. And yeah, imagine that. Getting an anime bolsters your manga sales because it puts eyes on your series. A lot of people only follow anime. Some people don't follow manga. It's not that surprising. But anyway, if you want to check those guys out, please do. Please follow them on Twitter. Keep an eye out on some stuff upcoming. Personally, if you haven't checked out Jujutsu Kaisen and Kimetsu no Yaiba, please do. I don't know how you haven't. I don't know why are you watching me if you haven't read either of these things. What are you possibly doing with your time? And then, of course, check out Chainsaw Man, because in my opinion, my humble opinion, my lowly opinion, Chainsaw Man is next up, right? So Kimetsu no Yaiba hit it out of the park. Jujutsu Kaisen hit it out of the park, and Kimetsu no Yaiba is rounding the bases. And now Chainsaw Man is going to be the next up. He's next up to bat, okay? Chainsaw Man, I expect to be insanely popular. We will see. I could be wrong, but as a big Chainsaw Man fan, I don't think I will be wrong. It's a great time to be into modern shonen, you guys. Great time to be into modern shonen. And with that, I will see you later. Bye!